5. Dropping gems already. We need to start the question. 4.
I'm a black man, so
3.
What are some tips that you have for people that have to?
2.
You know what I mean? So boys would not be boys, men would not be men because we're different.
1.
As always, welcome back. It's the man, the one and only, the neighborhood therapist. I am rocking with my brother, as always, Mike B.
Yeah.
And this is episode 9 of the Black Man Misunderstood podcast.
Kiko got them beats, baby.
91 shit. Advocate, hope. Lesson starts when the teacher actually ends. Now, lesson starts when the teacher actually ends. Now, lesson starts when the teacher actually ends. Now, fuck them casual trends. We going all in. Now, welcome to the growth. Keep it brief, this how it goes. Some keep it real, others keep doing the most. Some keep it real, others keep doing the most. Some keep it real, others keep doing the most.
How you feeling today, brother?
I'm good, brother. Out here working, trying to get these coins.
I feel it. This one is real special, man. This one is gonna be real near and dear to my heart, man, because a lot of questions that need to be answered, and especially for young black men in the community, we got to look to our elders. We got to look to people that came before us, people that's doing it already, people that's doing it in an amazing fashion.
Yep.
But before we get there, man, I gotta ask you a question, Mike.
Here we go.
How many kids you want?
Oof. Good question. I've spoke about this a couple of different times. At this point, I say 3. But, the ladies have the final say because it's their bodies.
Respect the ladies, of course. Okay. All right. I ain't mad at you for answering that. I appreciate it.
Of course.
So without further ado, let's get this popping, man. This one, like I said, man, near and dear to my heart, man, because a little backstory. When I started out my private practice, when I was in fear of starting it, so I seen them on Facebook, and I was like, man, let me see where this goes. So I messaged them on the Facebook joint, right? So I'm just like, yo, I just want to let you know, man. Like, I don't know. I said something basically it was off the top of the head, and it was from the heart. It was just like, because I was just like, damn, bro, I see you, bro. Like, you real authentic. Like, I didn't think we was able to do that. And the crazy thing was, he shot an email back, and it threw me off because I'm like, yo, most people, like, for real, bro. He answered back, and he was like, man, bro, I'm normal. This, I'm doing what I do, man. You know what I mean? Like, you could be whoever you need to be yourself and get it. And I was just like, yeah, bro, it's seared into my head. And ever since he said that, bro, it's been bombs away. I just been boom, boom, boom. So I wanted to give this man his flowers while he was here, man. And I want to introduce y'all to Mr. James Harris. How you doing, brother?
My man, appreciate it, man. I definitely received those flowers, my brother. Thank you. But nah, man, I'm surprised that you were shocked that I responded. What was that, like a year or so ago? Like I'm humble, man. I come from a place of humility, so it's for me, it's more gratifying to ensure that I assist others in growing as well, and I'm authentic in who I am, man. So I'm used to not having. I come from lack, man. I have an abundance, so I definitely want to share that love and share that wealth. So if I can assist, I'm definitely gonna do that, man. I definitely agree that some people are, privileged now where they don't respond or they don't come back, reach down for the little people, although they once there. But me personally, man, I definitely believe in longer tables and, shorter walls. Let's let everybody eat, man.
Okay, definitely respect that, brother.
Appreciate that. Dropping gems already. We need to start the question.
This is the fact, man. So let's dig into it. Who is James Harris?
Man, who is James Hurst? James Hurst is a father, a veteran, a student of life. Somebody that want to continue to grow, entrepreneur, therapist, do community-based services as well as private practice. I founded a movement called Men to Heal, which focuses on men's overall wellness, our mental health as well as our physical health. It's international now. I'm fortunate for that. I had the opportunity to speak in 5 different countries. And I'm also an author, Man Just Express Yourself, which is an interactive planner guide for boys and men to better express themselves. So many different tools in there for, of course, the younger guys, older guys. Good tool for the wives out there to purchase this book, or the girlfriends. Purchase this book, give it to your husband or your partner, so they can do a couple exercises, give it back to you. You guys exchange dialogue over dinner or date night or something like that. Because any other setting, you might be met with resistance. So, ladies, this is your way in. And of course, the book is also for parents too. They can give it to the young boys, and they can, grow with this tool. They can see if they still triggered, see what areas they need to improve in, and stuff like that. I just want to continue to assist people and help them grow, man.
Respect.
Truly respect that.
Mike, did you catch the part where you said he has spoken in 5 countries?
Yeah, I caught that part. I definitely caught that part.
Man, how do we get there? How do we get to that level?
So to be honest with you, man, people found me through social media. And just like you said, it's a certain level of authenticity, because every opportunity that I have been offered, I always say, like, hey, are you sure I'm the one for this opportunity? Because, I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to present it a certain way. And I say that because I don't want to cast a shadow over the entire field, right? So I don't know if your viewers will be able to see me, but I'm 5'6". I got 2 tattoo sleeves. I got a scruffy beard. I'm a black man. So I walk in who I am. I don't try to hide who I am. I don't believe in linguistic oppression, which means I'm going to sprinkle a little bit slang in there. Although I own multiple businesses and I have a master's degree, so to me, I just believe in being who I am. And I don't think professionalism is based on those oppressive means that we were previously accustomed to. I'm always in a t-shirt and foam posits, maybe Jordans every now and again. So that shirt and tie, like, either what I'm saying is, like, when I ask them that question, are you sure I'm the person you want? Because I can refer you to, other therapists or other business owners. They like, no, we came to you based on the fact that this is your presentation, basically. So for me, again, just being authentic in who I am has afforded me these opportunities.
Yeah, that's real motivational right there. Real talk.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay. What's up, Mike? What type of questions you got for us, man?
Man, let's start off like this. What was growing up with or without a father basically taught you about life?
That's an interesting question, man. I don't know if you guys know my backstory, but I was a ward of the state, which means I was in foster care and group homes. So I didn't grow up with a father nor mom. It was more so a structured living environment with different staff workers coming back, every couple hours and stuff like that. So I guess that taught me how to go against the grain, to be honest with you, because realistically, that, I guess, was a institutional mindset at an early age, which I'm so opposed to. And that's why I move the way I move, because I don't want to say I don't like structure, but I don't like being confined to certain rules of authority that are blanketed, so I'd much rather have the freedom of being eclectic and being able to be you. And of course, when you're in an institution, whether it's a group home or foster home, you got to abide by certain rules and regulations, so at an early age, those things were there. So me now, I guess the impact they had on me is to do everything with love and freedom, just based on the fact of, not trying to fit into a certain mold.
Man, that's respect, man. So when you say you were a ward of the state, did you go from family to family, or were you in the homes? The
Nah,
actual.
my dad died when I was 5. My mom got sick with epilepsy and strokes when I was about 8 or 9. So, she was unable to take care of us at that point. So the removal from the home led me, my brother, and my younger sister to go to a foster home, which was a family. That was a more structured, living situation. It was a married couple, and then there was other foster siblings there as well. And in that instance, it was more of a home setting. But some things transpired there with the family itself, which we were removed, and then we had to become residents of a group home. So they split me, my brother, and my sister up, and we had to go to separate group homes. And of course, the impact of that is a traumatic situation because, the family bond is broken. Other influences are now influencing my younger siblings. I can't, get to them like I need to. I can't support them the way I need to and stuff like that. So all of those things definitely impacted me in a way now that I can be empathetic. I can be, it assisted my resiliency level to build in a certain way and stuff like that. And it helped me have the ability to give back and, of course, advocate for change. Because like I said, me, my brother, and my sister were split up into different group homes. Like now I advocate at social services to, why wouldn't you keep the families together? Or why, what I mean? Like it's so many different policies that can change. A lot of different things that people don't look at, which is an oversight because, sometimes, of course, people got these facilities for money. Sometimes it's very little passion, so of course they need people to come back and tell their stories and to be advocates. So that's pretty much what I do.
Yeah, man, I definitely respect that. I don't want to pry too much, but were you able to reconnect with your siblings?
Yeah, we never disconnected. I definitely made it work. I ensured that I hustled, and I was able to. I emancipated myself at 16 because, again, like I didn't want to be bound by a institution. Of course, it could have been, I was young and know it all, but to me, that was the reason. So I hustled, I worked, and I was able to go to a school in which I wore a uniform. So the money that I would make from, hustling and working and stuff like that, I was able to assist my younger siblings with stuff that the facilities that they were in didn't provide, like whether it was buying them clothes or snacks and stuff like that. Because I wore a uniform to school, but of course they went to public school setting, and that can be hard, man. I ain't want them to get teased, and I ain't want, just different stuff. So I ensured that I extended my resources to assist them. So we never lost touch. We grew. We still close knit. It just was those circumstances many years ago happened.
Okay, I want to give me and Mike a chance to answer these questions, but before I do, I want to jump forward and then we could jump back. Piggyback on off of what you're saying, man. You're saying you're a ward of the state, so I feel like this is a perfect question for the listeners. If you want to adopt a child, James, what do you feel the individual or the couple should know?
I definitely think they should have love in their heart, because like right now it's so many children that are in positions that to where they want to be adopted by a family, and bureaucracy is preventing them from having a loving, nurturing family. Even it's so many people that are making the argument that same-sex couples shouldn't adopt, or a single man or single woman shouldn't adopt. It should only be for, married couples that make a certain percentage. I disagree with that wholeheartedly, because at the end of the day, like loving and nurturing can come from, a same-sex couple just as well. It can come from a married couple heterosexually. So like love and being a model citizen, upstanding citizen with integrity and character should be the criteria. Of course, it should be based on other things of, do you have your, are you a legal citizen? Can you afford to take on this responsibility? Can you provide? Have you have an abuse history and stuff like that? But outside of that, I definitely think it should be based on love and affection and how you can assist this child in growth, opposed to all the negative bureaucracy surrounding it.
I respect that. I definitely respect
Definitely. Yep. I'm taking down all these notes.
that. Oh yeah, you got to, man. That's what this was for, man. That's what I tell him, man. James, I definitely appreciate you, man. We still got more though.
Too
So,
easy. Yeah. Nah, definitely make sure that y'all get those questions in there so we can enhance the listeners' knowledge, man.
True indeed.
That's us.
So, Mike, man, put you on the hot seat, brother. What has growing up with or without your father taught you about life?
Well, we kind of mentioned this in the first season about in our fatherlessness episode, and we brought out two different perspectives. Because yes, I did live with my father, so yes, I saw what my father didn't do, and I guess I took those teachings of myself, and I always said to myself, like, when I do have kids, whether that be biologically or through adoption, I want to do the same. I'll be there for the important moments because I always wanted my father there, especially when I was younger. And when he didn't show up and I was disappointed, I never liked that feeling. Didn't harp on it myself, but I just know whenever I do have kids, that's one thing I definitely learned that I'm not. No, I wouldn't do that for my child in life because I want them to be better than what I had. So basically, living with my father but not growing up with my father, it basically taught me to always appreciate those moments with your loved ones, especially if you made them.
Yeah, I respect that. Okay. So I guess I'll go next, jumping right into it. Like you said, fatherlessness, we spoke about it. My relationship with my father growing up was not the best. Like I said, people tell me, when I was younger, a baby, I was around him and things like that. But during my, to me, the times I felt that I needed him the most, as far as teenage years, what I call my rugged, stuggish years, when I was in the streets and I was active, like doing the most, man, I feel like, I needed that guidance. And I don't feel like I could have turned to him in that instance, because a lot of that was just arguing between me and him, because I'm a lot like him. You see what I'm saying? But moving forward, having him, rekindling thanks to my grandfather, he sitting us down so we could have a conversation. I see how important a father is. I was raised by my mom, and like I said, my grandfather was there, and they just them two taking on that role. So I always felt like granddaddy was dad, what I'm saying? He took that responsibility. But to actually start to have a conversation and a realization of, who your father is and the things that he do, you start to look at yourself in the mirror a certain type of way, like, dang, okay, I see where I get that from. And things like that. Yeah. So what it's taught me about life is you got to be open to the experiences of what it is, period. And regardless if if your father is here or not, you definitely got to just take the time to research who it is that you are as an individual, as a human being. And that's the biggest takeaway I got from him, because I could sit here and be mad at him for the rest of my life for the things that I feel, he could have did or he didn't do and things like that. But when I'm hearing somebody like James speak to me and say, yo, bro, lost my father at 5 years old. I had to do this, and this. I had to go. It made me like introspect, like, yo, dang, like, is it really worth me taking it to the extreme where I'm never speaking to this man again? So it's just, it's give and take, man. You got to be open to the life experiences. So that's the biggest takeaway I got from it.
Can I add something too?
Absolutely.
So there is a thing called the father wound. So for the listeners out there, like, if you want to understand what the father wound is, definitely go to my YouTube page and check out that interview that I have on there. I sat down with a guru called a guy by the name of Phil White. But the father wound is definitely a real thing. And it's not just something that men have, but women can have it as well. It's that void that we have in searching for our fathers and searching for that relationship. The impacts of those things is addressed within that video. So definitely go to my YouTube, Mental Heal, and check out that video when you can. But I definitely want to touch on something that you said too. Like I don't think people give our parents credit, whether they were there or not there. Because at the end of the day, like I guess you can see this in hindsight, like they had their own things going on. It could have been irresponsible. It could have been irresponsible for them birthing us with, being in a reckless situation or whatever the case is. But unfortunately, they had their circumstances as well. So I don't think you should hold it against them based on those things. I do think you should try to mend the relationship as best you can. But if they show you differently, that's something different, and also to add too, I don't think you should compare my journey to your journey because people got different resiliency levels. We got different ways how we impact, how we tolerate things, and how we're impacted by things. So it could be different. And realistically, there's so many people out there today that were raised in two-parent households, but have, traits that are unbecoming. So, it's still no formula and to be able to identify the difference between raised. What we can say, we can assume, or probably the research suggests that if you're raised in a two-parent household, you can do X, Y, Z in comparison to somebody raised in a single family household. But you got to understand too, two-parent households will also imply it's more arguments. It's more salaries, of course. Two is better than one, but again, in some cases, those might not be the actual good scenarios. So, it comes down to the situation and the person, opposed to having a blanket over the entirety of the situation.
Respect it. I definitely respect it. Okay. What's up, Mike?
He already dropping gems for these listeners, man. So we're gonna continue on for him to continue to drop these gems. So we would like you to explain Peyton's dad. Like, what does that mean to the world that I'm Peyton's dad, or does that make you a girl dad? And if you had a son, would it be different?
But James, before you answer that, I want to know: did you always know you wanted to be a father?
I mean, that's definitely a tough question. So I guess that, like, I always knew I wanted to be a leader. I always knew I wanted to have a positive influence on people, regardless if I produce that being or not, because again, like, I knew that based on the fact of being in sports, being a sports leader, or being a leader when I was in the military and stuff like that. So of course, like, those qualities were there, and I definitely would like to pass them on. So I guess in a sense, you can attribute that to fatherhood as well. So I guess I did always want to be a father, but I definitely know I wanted to be in a position to pass that knowledge and have my legacy extended.
Okay, definitely respect that. Yeah, let's definitely get into this Peyton's dad, because I've seen it. But I've never, I never wanted to dig too deep. I didn't want to hit you up in that email. I was like, man, I want to talk to him,
No, yeah, it's all good. So that's my little one, man. Peyton dad is just something that I attribute my motivation to, in a sense. Like, now, we got that innate motivation, like that intrinsic, motivating factors in which we tend to do stuff for. But for me, she's one of those things, because one, she's looking. So I want her to see how it is to, reach back and assist people. Pre-COVID, she was coming with me to feed the less fortunate, give out clothes and stuff like that. I want her to understand those things and be able to do them naturally, when she gets older. So when I put, like, you probably seen that, like, on different articles that I post and stuff like that. So, like, if I get an opportunity, I definitely say Peyton dad did XYZ, or Peyton dad was featured in GQ magazine, or did an article in Psychology Today. So it's a highlight to her, because I want her to see, like, yo, you can do these things as well. And the second part of your question, yeah, if it was a male, I think it would be the same thing. Because again, like, it's an overall leadership thing to me. It's an overall modeling thing to me. It's not a gender specific thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Respect. Okay. So let me knock you over your head with this question right here.
Mm-hmm.
Is there such a thing as a great father? If so, what makes a great father?
I guess that's a suggestive comment. Think about it. It's like, even if let's take any Hollywood movie, right, where the father is working all the time, barely spending time with the kid, but they're providing. You know what I mean? To
Mm-hmm.
some, oh, that's a great father. Look at your house. Look at, you got all these shoes. You know, you got all these clothes, but the dad isn't there. You know, the dad is not coming to your games. The dad not spending time with you. You know, so different people got different perspectives. My personal perspective is nurturing, caring, supporting, affirming. You know, you're validating your children. You're allowing them to, grow, not just from a stance of it's my way, the highway, but it's a place of love and a place of construction, as far as like, let me help you enhance your knowledge. You know, as far as like right now, even now, I can discipline my daughter, and that'll be it. But I go the extra step to ensure I'm explaining to her why I'm disciplining her. You know what I'm saying? So to me, a great father is from a position of enhancement. Like, you got to leave your legacy. You know, it's not just about providing or spending time. Like, all of those things are great, but you also got to do some teaching in there. You got to do some motivating in there. You got to do some nurturing in there. You know, all of those things make a difference in how they're shaped, you know, or how they are attracted to, and what they attract, basically, you know, whether they are a boy or girl. Because, you know, again, we got to extend some cycles, and we got to break some cycles, and those things can be impact that happen to us that we're trying to prevent. You know, so all of those things are important.
Speak on it, brother. I respect that.
You talking about getting rid of them, some of those generational consequences, we like to call it.
Definitely.
This is a fact. What's up, Mike?
You're just bringing up some great points. I just want to piggyback on one point, saying that being a great dad is basically in the eye of the beholder.
Correct.
And what you attribute to that. But I definitely love that. I love the point where you said it's not just providing financially, because I think a lot of people misconstrue that and be like, "Oh, I'm a great dad. I give my kid everything," where that may not be what your kid actually needs. So I do appreciate that you delved into that part of that thing, because I think that part gets missed a lot. So we all know everything is not all hunky-dory and easy going. We know there's pitfalls here and there. And so what are some pitfalls that we can avoid in regards to parenting and fatherhood in general? And you just could go any which way of that. I know it's not always there's one answer and one way to everything, but just little tidbits and just little hints that we could just take and jot down for ourselves and for the listeners.
Yeah. So I don't know if y'all had this in grad school, man. You're a therapist now, but it's definitely different parenting styles. The authoritarian, the authoritative, and then it's like two more. You know, so I definitely would suggest people to probably look that up. But in a sense, though, I just feel that you can avoid being critical, like too critical. I'm not saying don't discipline, but you got to understand, like, you're shaping a person who is realistically going to replace you and find our way in society. So I think a lot of parents live vicariously through their children. And in most cases, the children don't want to do half the stuff, but they are doing it because mom said it or dad said it. So I think we got to leave place for our children to be authentic within themselves, to allow them to grow and make mistakes, and to, identify ways they can improve from those mistakes. So we can't be too overbearing, or we shouldn't be, I should say, because that, like, think about now, like, how many coworkers you can look around your office and see that are like just trapped. You know, they're in a position, but they don't want to do that. They want to do something else, but they couldn't. You know, they couldn't chase that dream because this mom wanted me to go to college or dad wanted me to go to college. Now they stuck in a career. Now they have poor communication skills because they didn't see it be modeled. They can't work well with others because they didn't see it modeled. Like so, all of those things matter. I think a lot of people look at the adult and say, "Oh man, you're a broken adult," but those are adverse experiences that potentially happened when that adult was a child, and nobody, addressed or
talk about it
or support it. So I definitely think, we got to be supportive. We got to communicate in a way that they can learn and grow from, opposed to just that blanket because I said so, because I'm the parent.
This is a fact. I'm not mad at that at all.
Facts.
Okay. Let's go ahead and dig into our favorite segment right here. These burning questions. Mike, I'm gonna let you kick it off, man. Dump them with three, man, and I'll follow off when you done, bro.
So we kind of answered this already, but quick answer. How am I supposed to raise this little human? That's the first burning question.
With love, you raise them, so hopefully you're not just being reckless and promiscuous and just having a kid. Like hopefully you're preparing as much as you can. We can understand that things happen, in one night or whatever the situation is, but definitely do what you got to do on your end to ensure that you're preparing to have this responsibility. And if you aren't prepared, it's here now. So you got to make the necessary adjustments to ensure that you're raising it properly. You're taking care of it, the kid, you're nurturing the kid, you're supporting the kid. It's a part of your life. You're adjusting. Some people have these children and still never make the adjustment, still never make the sacrifice. And they become negligent or abusive, or so many other adverse experiences happen based on that. So I guess to answer your question is be willing to sacrifice and place the child in a position of success.
I'm all about that answer right there, man. All right. How many Pampers should I be buying?
So it all depends, to be honest with you, because I would suggest when it is time for you to have a kid, you guys get a lot of gift cards, so that way you can buy them at your leisure. Because people are gonna come to your baby shower and they're gonna give you a certain amount, and more than likely people are gonna be buying the same sizes, but the kid gonna grow too rapidly, and you gonna have all these Pampers the same size, and you can't even use at some point. So I would suggest, or when you or your lady make your registry, you guys put different sizes opposed to just having blanket Pampers on there or clothes on there. Like specify, like put different sizes so people can buy different sizes, or they give you gift cards and you guys do it yourself. Because if you just put Pampers on there and I show up and Mike show up, we both got the same size, and the kid growing faster. You know what I mean? So because that happens, man. So try to be as specific as you can.
Okay,
that's a nice little detail right there.
Yeah, I'm ready, man.
Yeah, I know, man. Because I had so many clothes left over because by the time it was time for her to wear the outfit that my aunt gave, she was already grown. You know what I mean? Because people don't think like that. They just know like, oh, cool, this is cute, I'm taking it. But 5 other people got clothes within that size range too. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing with Pampers. So again, I would definitely suggest you guys get gift cards or specified on your registry, so that way they can get those different sizes and you can see. So it can be moderated, basically, because if you just keep it like as an obligation or opening for them to do it, you never know what you're gonna get.
True.
Facts.
Shoot us off with one more, Mike. Shoot us off with one more.
All right. How will I know I'm being a good father? I know we talked about this earlier, but how will we know?
I don't think it's an answer to that. Like, it's no criteria. It's probably no checklist. But I definitely think that you should try to ensure that you're doing certain things to, to affirm your kid, to ensure that they're living, and nurturing and stuff like that. Of course, making sure that they're fed and clothed and stuff like that, provided for. But to say it's a criteria of what a good father is, it'll be difficult to put a quantifiable measure on that.
Okay, respect.
Definitely respect that answer.
Guess it's my turn to start throwing off some fire, some heat.
So,
how did you decide what will be your route to disciplining your child?
I've just been fortunate enough to be in the field, and I see children that are in adverse positions, for the majority of their life, and most of it was a result of trauma and abuse and neglect, so I know I didn't want to do that. And then two, I was one of those kids who were raised in situations like that. And I firmly believe that the abuse factor is a oppressive mindset, that results from slavery. I definitely don't believe that you should be emotionally or physical abusive to your little one. And what I mean by abuse, I mean like just beating them because you can. Like that's not. Again, like earlier, I already said that I explained to my daughter, even when I'm disciplining her. Like now, like discipline, like she's 8 years old now, and discipline now is more so research. Like she's like if she wants something, she's giving me a PowerPoint on, why she deserved X, Y. And realistically, that's preparing her for life. In my eyes, because if she's not like working for me or taking over my businesses that I've built, she's gonna work, for somebody, right? And what's gonna happen when she want that raise or want a different position? They're gonna require her to prove that. So what I'm instilling now is that mindset. Oh, I've been doing this since I was a kid. Like, let me go ahead and type this proposal up, and So back to the disciplining thing, though. Like, my result of that is like, yo, help me understand why you did what you did, or why you made the choice you make, or how can I assist you in making better choices? What happened? But and all in all, I think I'm blessed to have a child who is, she's AB student, no negative infractions. Like, it's not a situation to where she's disciplined a lot. I can't recall being in a position to where I'm like, oh man, like I'm disappointed, or I need to, do a disciplining form to her. So my form of discipline and her mom, we're not together. Her form of discipline is pretty much the same, because our daughter is, a good kid. Like, it's no issues. We don't have to worry about too much. Like she's 8, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen during her teen years. Hopefully she don't, venture off too much, but I'm sure her mindset will still be the same, to where she's not reckless and she's still getting good grades and, succeeding.
Yep.
Respect. Let me keep it going. 2-part question. How do you balance the love between your child and your significant other? And what are some tips that you have for people that have to go through blended families? Because I seen you just dropped in there that, you're not with your child's mom. But I know from social media stalking, that's what I call it. You just got engaged, correct?
Yeah. So you ain't stalking, man. You supporting. That's what it's for. It's the community, and people put it up there so they open themselves up to it, whether it's positive or whether it's constructive criticism. All right. So the first part of your question was, how do you balance the love? I don't think that you need to balance the love, though. You know what I mean? Like, the love is for the family. The love should be equal all the way around. Now, if you want to talk about balancing time, balancing the relationship aspect, like, those things are different. Yeah. But the love itself is your responsibility as, that family member, to ensure that the love is being shared throughout. But as far as how we balance time and, you know, dedication and structure and stuff like that, like all of that would vary from person to person. But what we do is I ensure that I'm getting my daughter days, man. I don't know if you've seen that, but
Definitely.
I put daughter days. So, you know, me and my little one, man, we spending time together. And then I got cheesy dates, excuse me, where me and my lady spending time together. So, you know, and that's how it is. And then my lady, so we're getting married next year. So I'll be having a bonus daughter, you know, from that, you know, from that dynamic. So,
Yeah.
you know, I do the same thing with her as well. You know, so either way, like it's a shared responsibility for everybody to get a certain amount of time and to have a certain amount of interest. And we also do family nights too. So for me, it's about sharing the responsibility, you know, and my lady, she'll do some stuff with them and then she'll do some stuff with me. So it's shared, you know, but the love is something that everybody gets.
Fire. And
Sweet.
then I'm telling you, man, the gems, man. And,
Yeah, man.
and then to the blended family dynamic. How do you keep that healthy?
Again, like I can only control what takes place in my home. So I definitely ensure that we are displaying a certain thing, me and my fiance, to where our daughters are being, you know, they have proper models. You know, they see us interact, they see what a healthy relationship is, whether it's communication, whether it's affection, being nurturing and stuff like that. And I think the other parents outside of our home, they have that as well. So I guess we have a good dynamic, and it's no being cantankerous or confrontation. So I mean, I guess if I had to answer it from a perspective of the views of society, maybe, you know, I guess the ones. I guess you want to know, like, what about the families that have conflicts and stuff like that?
No, just over your view. You know,
Oh yeah, oh
yeah,
yeah. Well, my view is different. Yeah, my
yeah.
view has, you know. Now, don't get me wrong. Like my ex-wife and I disagree on certain things, and have different perspectives on certain things. But of course, you know, at that point, it's the question is, what's best for our daughter? You
Yeah.
know, like it's, you know, remove myself, remove yourself. How is Peyton gonna be impacted by this? You know what I'm
True.
saying? Like, what's, you know, like you might want whatever you want, I might want what I want, but remove ourselves, reduce ourselves, elevate Peyton, and see how it's going to benefit her, how it's going to impact her, and what's the impact, what's the backlash going to be from that? Like, how is Peyton going to respond from that? So for us, that's the motivating factor, that's the deciding factor, because again, like, even if you take some as far as like, you know, religion or gender or whatever the case is, you know, like that's going to be at the end of the day a choice that Peyton has to decide. Realistically, now, if you look at your religion, it's probably because your mom said, "Yo, we Christian." You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't, you didn't choose your religion because you set down the Quran, the Bible, and all the other, you know, religious books and said, "Yo, this is my," you know what I'm saying? So I think that's something for the child to decide. So again, for us, it's easier to revert back to, all right, cool. How is this going to impact Peyton? What do you know what I mean? What's is it in her best interest, or is it just serving our ego? You know what I'm saying? So for us, that's what we go on.
True. True indeed. I respect you for answering that, man.
Yeah, no problem.
I got two more questions for you.
Go ahead.
What's your favorite part about being Peyton's dad?
Again, the ability to be a model, man, to know that I'm leaving a legacy and I'm contributing on the right side of society. You know what I'm saying? As far as a statistic, because statistics will lead people to believe that fathers are absent, fathers aren't there, fathers aren't supporting our children, you know, stuff like that. So for me, one of the best things about being Peyton's dad, man, is to be in a position that I can support other children. Like pre-COVID, I used to go to her school weekly and have lunch with her, you know what I'm saying? And not only bringing lunch for her, but I knew that it was other children in her class who didn't have, you know, they had food insecurity. So I would bring enough food to assist other kids, you know what I'm saying? And to be that model. And people will, you got to think about the impact that they have on children. You know what I'm saying? Like I recall kids saying, "Oh man, Peyton, your dad is always up here." You know what I'm saying? Like I heard one kid say, "Yo, I don't even like." Imagine she's 8 years old. So last year, pre-COVID, she was 7 in the 2nd grade, and it was kids saying like, "I don't know my dad," or "I haven't seen my dad," or "My mom don't come up here." You know what I'm saying? So again, those things are impactful, and these are things that she's gonna revert back to as she continue to grow. She's gonna know like, "Oh, my dad has always got my back, or my mom always got my back," you know, because that's what we do. We want to ensure that we're doing that for her sake, and to let her know that she's loved, she's valued, and she's nurtured.
Man, respect. Let me fire off this last question. This is a super personal question, man. So I got this book right here, right? Man, just express yourself.
Yeah.
Okay? This book in my practice, when I'm doing therapy, a lot of the men that I get, I automatically recommend the book. I want them to go through it so that we can go through it alone. So I don't know if y'all can see this, but mine is blank. It's blank for a reason, because I'm gonna mess around. I'm gonna have to buy like 20, 50 copies because I actually go through it with my clients, right? But there's something in there that I've been waiting to pick your brain on, man. And it's men will be men, boys will be boys. Thought process, like where did that come from? What's your thoughts on it, brother?
Yeah, so you got to remember, like, so a form of toxic masculinity, misogynistic views, the views of society and stuff like that, like the patriarchy views and stuff, they tend to contribute those things to that. They would say, "Oh no, that's just him being a boy," or "That's just him being a man." Oh, they contribute poor relationship building, or having multiple women and being a womanizer and stuff like that as a quality of a man or boy, which is unfair, and it's a poor excuse for one to be able to contribute into society. Because think about it, like if a woman was doing the same thing or a girl was doing the same thing, she'll be demonized. So pretty much it shouldn't be that excuse of, "Oh, boys will be boys, men will be men." Like, no, it should be an overall decision factor of, no, like, bro, chill. You doing something that's reckless and foul and unbecoming of a man. You know, that to me, that's my take on it. Opposed to making that excuse, "Oh, he did that because he's a boy." Because now that's saying that I'm a man and I would do the same thing, which is, you know, realistically messed up. You know what I mean? Because now you're demonizing my character and you're making a blanket statement. Like, think about it. Like, think about a couple years ago when the last president said, "Grab him by the, you know what." You know what I mean? They just said that, "Oh, that's man talk. Men do that." No, we don't. Like, you're disrespecting a woman. You know what I mean? Like, you violated somebody's daughter. You violated somebody's aunt, somebody's mom, somebody's sister. You know what I mean? And don't contribute that to something that I or other men would do just for the sake of that argument. You know what I mean? So boys would not be boys, men would not be men, because we're different. We are not a monolith.
Man, all right. That's what I needed right there, man.
I'm gonna have to go get this book.
Brother, listen, man. You can copy it everywhere, family. It's on Amazon, brother. And because you know me personally, you know it's on my website, man. You go to the Black Man Misunderstood post, bro. It's right there, fam. You cannot miss it. It's right there.
Oh, that's dope. I appreciate that.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's definitely on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Target, Walmart, and of course my website as well, men2heal.com. So either way, get it from wherever you want to get it from. It's all the same pot.
Okay. And when y'all get it, I want y'all to put in like a little email to that man and let him know, to let James know the Black Man Misunderstood podcast sent you.
Yeah, do that, and or do it on wherever you buy from. You can do it on Goodreads or Amazon. Just leave that review, you know. But I definitely appreciate it.
Oh yeah. Now, speaking of Men to Heal, man, I know you got the Healing Hub as well. Tell us more about that. Go deeper into that for people that don't know.
Well, all right, they two separate entities. So again, Men to Heal is a movement that I founded in 2018. So you remember in grad school, you probably had the same assignment. If it's any population that you could serve, who would it be? Who would you work with? So a couple of people from my cohort, of course, they choose, you know, women's rights, veterans, sex workers, LGBTQ and stuff like that, veterans. And initially I too chose veterans, but then I realized that the men are again, left out when it comes to wellness, whether that's mental health or physical health. So I took that on as an assignment. So, you know, I started with my immediate circle, man. And that from that experience, that assignment, I realized that people in my immediate circle weren't getting physicals every year. They want, you know, like checking on themselves, like from a medical standpoint, STD tests and stuff like that. So I'm like, dang. And of course, you know, they definitely won't see no therapist or talking to nobody. That was on a micro level. So I started thinking about it on a macro level, like, dang, like it's people all over the world who probably do this, you know what I mean? Men specifically. And I was right, just based on the research. So what I did was, after I graduated or whatever, I started my licensing journey. I started at this private practice called The Veil, and it still is a woman-dominated practice. It's owned by 2 women. I was the only male there my tenure. They do phenomenal work in the community for women and, of course, in practice. And I was always like, hey, like, when y'all gonna do something for the men or whatever? So, you know, that used to be a joke between me and the owner. And she was like, yo, just put something together. So I just thought about the assignment that I had in grad school, and from there it was birth. I got stuck at a train one day. I got a Tesla, so I just started doodling on the screen, and this logo presented itself. I took a picture of it, shot it to my graphic designer, same handwriting and everything, and put it on a shirt, started wearing it. And before I knew it, like, just people was like, oh man, my uncle, you know what I mean? Or my father, or I know somebody who can, you know what I mean? So it became an instant conversation starter, just to share the dialogue. And then before I knew it, I had sold over 1,000. It just was, you know, it just grew like that. And of course, from that, the speaking opportunities came and stuff like that. And it just continued to manifest itself and continue to grow. So, like, I started doing seminars within the community. So pre-COVID, you know, it started off about 25 people, men and women, coming to ask questions about mental health. And then, you know, it just continued to grow. I was doing them each quarter, different topics surrounding men and mental health. So it's men and athletes, athletes and mental health, incarceration and mental health. So many, like, various topics I would do, and it just continued to grow. Like, people from all over were showing up, bringing out questions to get the information from myself and the panel. You know, that's how it happened. So now, post or during COVID, is what I did was I created this YouTube channel because, of course, we can't do certain things now because of COVID and social distancing and stuff like that. So I still do things, but I do it on a YouTube platform now, different interviews with different people on these various topics. And then, of course, the book was birthed from the movement as well, with different stuff that I do in practice, and or if somebody was submitting a question, like let's say a wife would submit a question or a parent would submit a question, you know, I found myself answering these questions all over again. So I was like, yo, let me just collect all this information and put it out there. So that's how the book was birthed. You know, from there, just people, different stuff that I do in practice with my personal clients, and then comprised from the questions that people set, like, that they want answers to. You know, I like 65 plus different topics I just wanted to address based on those questions. And then the Healing Hub is a spot. So I'm an entrepreneur even before I was a therapist. So before I had a bachelor's degree, I had 2 properties and a business. You know, so I paused entrepreneurship to come, you know, to complete my bachelor's, then got my master's, and then started my licensing journey. So the Healing Hub is a spot that I have, and I use my own resources to fund it. So I do my outpatient there. We got yoga. So all of this is pre-COVID: yoga, mindfulness, Zumba, Reiki, different seminars I bring for the community, such as first-time home buying, voter registration, restoration of rights, feed the less fortunate every third Saturday, clothing drives, just pretty much anything my demographic and the community was lacking. I put it all in one spot to ensure that they have access and availability to different things. Because oftentimes, you know, we're disenfranchised. We don't have the ability to pay a certain amount or to gain insight because it's not given to us or privileged. You know, so I just wanted to ensure that I'm doing my part and serving the people, not just from a nutrition standpoint or from a monetary standpoint, but from a knowledge standpoint. You know, like, I can do what I want to do because I own it. You know what I mean? Like I want people to be able to learn and enhance their knowledge and grow within themselves. So anything that I felt that the community was lacking, I made sure that I was in a position to provide information or find information and then give it back to them. You know. So that's those two.
Mike, you all right over there, man?
Bruh, I'm just taking it all in, bruh. I'm just taking it all in. I definitely gotta go get that book ASAP.
Man, James, bro, I want to tell you face to face, man. Well, virtual to virtual, but you know what I mean.
Gotcha.
You are a godsend, man. You are an inspiration, brother. Do not stop what you're doing, man. You inspire people every day, man. How can people reach out to you, man?
Hey man, hey, listen, thank you. I definitely received that, and I don't have any intentions of stopping. I definitely have plans to continue to increase and take it to the next level because I do know that lives are being changed, families are being mended, and stuff like that. So my plan is always to continue to grow. And then, like you noted earlier, man, my loved one looking. You know what I mean? So
True.
I definitely got to hand that baton back. So I want her to be in a position to be able to say, "Oh, my dad did X, Y, Z." And speaking of that, before I do drop my information, man, like every entrepreneurship endeavor I had, I ensured that I included her. So when I had my party bus, like she would come on and do the spill of, if you move throughout the bus, it's a road bus,
That's
so
fire.
like little things like that. Just including her, like even with the restaurant, I make sure that she's involved, like, because I want her to know what it feels like to be in charge and to be the owner and to have those things. And at the Healing Hub, she'll give out clothes, she'll help clean up, she'll pass out food and stuff like that. So like all of that is parenting, that's motivating and guiding and leading, this next generation. So yeah, but to wrap it up, man, I think the easier way to find me is mentoheal.com, mentoheal.com. And from there, of course, you can subscribe to my social media. You can purchase the book. You can also subscribe to the YouTube channel and get that knowledge as well. Submit me your email, your questions, or DMs, or however you need to do it. And I'll assist you as any way I can with the knowledge and information.
Respect. Okay. Before we let you get off of here, man, is there anything in regards to fatherhood that you want to leave the listeners with?
Do it your way. Just ensure that you are loving and nurturing and supportive, and you're leaving an impact and a legacy, whether that's a positive one or negative one. So ensure that it's a legacy that you can stand to afford to look yourself in the mirror behind. It's the next generation. So, and also don't take the negative traits that you were given and pass them down. So break those cycles.
Absolutely. Amen to that.
I ain't got nothing to add to that. Listen at all, bro. You know how I do. When someone just come on here, I ain't nothing to follow up with that, man.
Listen, man. Take us home, Mike, man. Marketing and mental health.
All right. So the marketing tip of the day, folks. Always think about how to get your audience attention. Now, basically, what I mean by that is, yes, you can have a nice product that everyone loves, but if you're not constantly having it in people's faces or basically sparking interest in your audience, how can you truly keep your business going? And basically, you can throw that into fatherhood. How can you constantly keep your kids' attention? And James gave us perfect examples on this episode. Now I have to repeat them. You go back and listen and jot them down yourselves. Mm-hmm. But basically, always keep your audience attention. That's my marketing tip of the day.
Oh yeah, I'm with that. So mental health tip of the day: never be afraid to ask questions and strive to learn something every day. So if it wasn't for me taking the time out to reach out to James Harris, not to say that we wouldn't be where we are today in this predicament, but who knows? I had to step into an uncomfortable space, reach out to someone that I saw that was doing it the way I liked it in an authentic manner, and take that chance. So closed mouth don't get fed. You know how I feel about that. In regards to fatherhood, I had to ask these questions, man, because I 100% plan on what they call it, putting a bun in the oven. Yeah. All that ASAP. That's happening. So, you know, me speaking for myself, bro, I'm petrified, bro. Like, you know, coming where we come from, like, how am I gonna be responsible for raising a little one? All the things I didn't see, all the things I didn't did. But listening to you, James, bro, put me at ease, man. You know, speaking to granddaddy, speaking to my pops, things like that, even speaking to my mom, you know, speaking to people around me in general. And like you said, James, it takes a community, bro. So I want to tell you for real, man, from the bottom of my heart, bro, we appreciate you, man. The Healing Hub is phenomenal, bro. We need that to go nationwide, family. You know, and if you ever need us, man, we here for you, brother.
No, I definitely appreciate that, man. Thank you guys for extending your platform. Yeah, hopefully the viewers and listeners taking something from this episode, because it is definitely one of those critical things, man. Like, fatherhood is gonna come, and oftentimes people aren't prepared. So hopefully this can assist them, or at least get them ready, or at least get the wheels turning to where they are, you know, thinking about certain things. So continue to do what y'all do, man. I'm definitely a fan of yours as well. And also, like, with that, man, like, I think a lot of people, one, within our society today, glorify overworking when we should be resting more. And two, a lot of people don't like asking for help, you know. So, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if it's from a place of they might be rejected, or they just genuinely want to do it themselves. But you know, I definitely think we should be in a position to where we should extend our hand and say, yo, hey, you man, assisting me with XYZ. And they might say no, but they could say yes. So I would suggest definitely taking that opportunity, you know, to grow. Because some people have what you need, and, you know, like, you can obtain that as well. And they probably be willing to teach you or assist you. All you got to do is ask. But a lot of times people don't like to ask. So I'm glad you were able to, you know, tuck your pride or whatever it was to just reach out at the end of the day. So continue to do that. Like, it's needed. You know, you're going to get rejected. You're going to get some no's. You're going to get some not right nows or whatever. But that shouldn't stop your motivation. That should definitely continue to assist you in being hungry and finding answers yourself. But the point is to, you know, reach out, try to collab, try to connect.
Man. There's no way I'm following that up. All I'm gonna say is I appreciate you.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks. I'm not following that up. And to that, I say, make love, not war. I am gone. I'm going to write down these gems.
No problem, man. Definitely going to get that book. I definitely appreciate you, fellas. Continue the good work, man. I'll catch y'all on the next one.
Appreciate you, brother. You
appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Kiko got them beats, baby.